Make a fist and look at your forearm from the thumb side. If it still looks flat, even with decent biceps, you're probably training the wrong part of it. The fastest visual fix is not more wrist curls. It's hammer curls and reverse curls, because those build the part people actually notice. I'll show you why wrist curls keep arms looking top-heavy, the two moves to build around, and the mistake that makes these hurt instead of grow. By the end, you'll know which forearm moves make your arms look thicker, how to set them up, and how much direct work it usually takes. A lot of people do forearm work already. They tack on wrist curls, feel a burn, and still the arm looks thin from the side and below the elbow. That's the trap. Wrist curls mostly build the inner forearm, the palm side. They do that in a palm-up position, so the thumb side stays pretty flat. You get more thickness on the inside, while the part that makes the arm look wider barely changes. So the lower arm gets more uneven, not more complete. Your biceps improve, but they still sit on top of skinny lower arms. And rows and deadlifts do a lot less for this than direct forearm work. Heavy pulling is not quietly fixing it for you. The simple fix is to stop making wrist curls your main forearm move. Keep them as extra work if you want, fine. But put your main sets into hammer curls and reverse curls. Quick gut check. When your forearms look small, is your first instinct wrist curls or hammer curls? Now for the part that matters most. It's the thumb side forearm, the part that helps the arm look wider when it hangs relaxed. The main muscles here are your brachioradialis, the thick strip on the thumb side near the elbow, and the extensors, the muscles across the top of the forearm. Those build the outer mass from elbow toward wrist. Neutral and palm down grips train them much better than wrist curls do. That's why you can train arms hard and still have forearms that look narrow. The visible part did not get enough work. Hammer curls let you use more load. Reverse curls shift more work to the top and thumb side of the forearm. That difference matters. One is the base, one is the extra detail. So make hammer curls your default forearm builder. Use reverse curls after that. If your goal is thicker looking forearms, build around those first. Here's the easiest way to think about it. Hammer curls build the bulk you can progress easily. Reverse curls bring up the top side so the forearm looks fuller from more angles. If this just saved you from wasting months on the wrong exercise, that's worth a like. Now the easy choice. Which move should you start with? Use hammer curls as the base. A hammer curl is just a curl with your palms facing each other. That grip brings the thumb side forearm in hard, and it usually feels better on the wrists and elbows. You can load it better, track it better, and keep getting stronger without your joints complaining. Reverse curls come after. That's a curl with your palms facing down. They hit the top of the forearm more, but you are weaker there, and they are easier to mess up. Most people do one of two things. They go too hard on reverse curls and turn them into a full body heave, or they stick with only normal curls and never train the part that changes how the forearm looks. Run hammer curls first as your main progression lift, then add reverse curls after. Use moderate weight, keep your elbows by your sides, use a full range, and stay mostly in the 10 to 15 rep range.
A simple setup helps a lot here. On hammer curls, keep the dumbbell lined up with your forearm. Don't let the wrist bend back at the top. On reverse curls, start lighter than you think. A straight bar is often the one that annoys people. An easy bar or dumbbells usually feels better because your wrists are not forced into one fixed position. That matters because the goal is not just doing the exercise. The goal is loading the right area cleanly. If the wrist folds back or the shoulder starts swinging, the set stops being about your forearm and starts turning into joint stress and momentum. Visible forearm changes usually show up about 8 to 12 weeks of consistent direct work. Not 3 heroic sessions, not one angry forearm day, just consistent work. And frequency matters here. Forearms usually grow better with 2 to 4 direct sessions a week. That also fits how these muscles behave. You use them all the time and they usually handle repeated work well. So one tiny add-on at the end of back day often isn't enough. Start with 8 to 12 direct sets per week. Split that across 2 to 4 sessions. Keep most of those sets hammer curls and reverse curls. Then add reps or a little load once your form stays clean. One more useful contrast. Hammer curls are the move you can usually push and progress for a while. Reverse curls are the move you respect. They do their job well, but they punish sloppy loading fast. So if you only have room for one hard push, make that hammer curls first. Send this to the guy with decent biceps and forearms that still disappear below the sleeve. There is one thing that can still ruin all of this. It's why some people swear reverse curls destroy their elbows. The problem is not the exercise itself. The problem is the setup. The wrist bends back, the shoulder starts swinging, the rep turns into momentum. Once that happens, tension leaves the forearm and lands on the joints. So the move that should have helped starts feeling awful. Then you stop doing it and the forearm still looks skinny. The setup failed. Keep the wrist stacked. That just means straight, not bent back. Don't throw the weight up. Control the lowering part. Pick a load you can own for 10 to 15 clean reps before you add more. And don't chase burn over position. A messy set that feels hard is still a messy set. On reverse curls especially, lighter and cleaner usually grows better than heavier and uglier. If you like simple fixes that strip popular exercises down to what actually changes how you look, consider subscribing. Once hammer curls and reverse curls feel stable, keep the same 2 lifts and progress them in order. First, add reps across that 10 to 15 range. Then make small load jumps. Then add a 3rd weekly session if recovery is good. The goal is not random forearm variety. The goal is more clean tension in the same patterns over the next 8 to 12 weeks. That is what changes how they look. So keep the takeaway simple. If your forearms look skinny, the main problem usually is not a lack of wrist curls. It's that the thumb side and top side are undertrained. Build around hammer curls and reverse curls, do them often enough to progress, and keep the wrist straight so the muscle takes the load. Stop treating wrist curls as the answer to skinny-looking forearms. If you want lower arms that actually look thicker, build the thumb side first.